Well, there it is, guys. This is either going to be the best or worst decision I've ever made with RCs. So the Saturday after Thanksgiving was my 41st birthday. And it was also right smack in the middle of Black Friday sales, and Horizon Hobby was offering the SCX6 Honcho at a deep discount of almost $300 off. And the stars aligned, and I just couldn't pass it up. So I treated myself to a birthday present of epic proportions. And now here it is, the SCX6 Honcho is on the bench. Now this truck has been out for a little while, the SCX6 and the Honcho specifically. So I'm not going to do a huge dive into this as far as technical specs go. There's lots of great content on this truck out there, but I will hit the key features, go over some of the highlights, and then we're going to get out and we're going to run this thing. I spent a bunch of time on it today. It is an incredible piece of machinery. By far the most capable, realistic, and authentic driving experience that I've ever come across in RC. I'm really excited to share this with you, so let's jump in and check this thing out. Let's kick this off with the exterior and the appearance. First off, let's talk about the size. 6 scale, and this thing is absolutely massive. You see pictures and videos of it, it does not do it justice. When you see this thing in person, it is absolutely enormous. Even as I'm recording this, I'm realizing that there's no way this is going to translate on camera. So I'm really struggling to try to give you guys some perspective on just how big this thing is. I mean, here it is. This is a 24 scale mini crawler right here. And it is so big that I could drive one of my minis, several of my minis, straight underneath the chassis of this thing. It is so enormous. The sheer presence of this thing is just amazing. Now this is the Honcho version. It does come in the Jeep Wrangler as well. I really like the Honcho, and the Honcho comes in this nice reddish orange color that got me when this first came out, and I've been eyeballing it ever since. So when it went on sale, it was just the right time to do it. So this is a scaled up version of the SCX10 Honcho. There are some subtle differences, primarily in the cage. It has a kind of truncated cage in the back with a redesign on it. And I really like the cage. It's cool and functional, tough, looks great. The cage does also house a full-size spare tire. You could take this tire off if you want to save some weight. Tucked inside the cage here, we have functioning traction mats or sand ladders, whatever you want to call them, but you can easily remove these and you can use these on the trail. They are tough and functional as well. Underneath those is a little cargo box here. You can open up this cargo box, take this off, and it's big enough that you could almost fit a battery in there, some accessories, plenty of room in there. It's quite deep and pretty substantial from a storage standpoint. Going along the side, we do have these really nice aluminum panels here with the roll call stickers. The body itself is a Lexan body. Comes in 2 different colors. It comes in a sand color and it comes in this reddish orange. It does have a nice interior. This is not quite a zero depth interior, but not a full interior as well. But inside you can see gear shifters, console, detailed seats, nice detailed dash. Really wish it had a driver though. I think that would really complete the scale look. When you see this driving around, it looks so realistic. It's kind of a shame that there is no driver in there. Coming around to the front, on the hood, we've got these nice axial decals, again with the roll call going down the hood on the passenger side. Nice molded details here with the windshield wipers. Up front, we've got a composite DeMillo off-road bumper with these nice D-rings. It has D-rings front and back. Inside the bumper front and back, there are LED lights. There are, in fact, 20 LED lights all around this thing. We've got the LEDs in the rear buckets there, LED fog lights up front that are a nice orange color in the bumper, white LEDs in the headlights, and then we've got 4 LEDs in each one of these little pods here on the hood, which are adjustable. You can position these left and right. They are bright as well. They do a great job. We've also got these nice molded sliders. Even though the sliders and the cage and the bumper are composite, they've got a really, really heavy duty feel to them. To open up the body, this is really cool. There's a couple pins here in the front. It's on a hinge, so very easy to open this thing up. Once this thing is open, you get a glimpse of the inside here. Lots of stuff going on here. We've got a steel frame with composite bracing and shock towers. We've got fender liners in the front that do a great job protecting this thing from debris and also make it so you can't see inside and see any of the electronics or anything. You've got spots for 2 batteries in here. It comes with 1 battery plug, but you can run dual batteries if you want to get a Y connector, or you could just slap another one on the other slider to carry around as a spare. The motor and transmission on this thing are outrageous. The transmission is enormous. This is a 2-speed transmission, shifting with the transmitter, with a standard size servo in the back, providing your shifting action. The motor is a 1200 kV brushless motor from Spectrum. The thing is almost the size of a Red Bull can, just enormous up here, and tons of power with great operation. Got a fake V8 motor cover. Underneath this cover is your receiver and your ESC. The receiver is the 515, which gives you extra channels to run all of your lights. ESC is a 120 amp Spectrum unit, and it is waterproof as well. Massive Spectrum steering servo up front with an aluminum horn. Underneath here, we have huge stainless steel links. We've got a 4-link in the rear, 3-link up front with a panhard bar. Big straight axles with lots of trussing on them, giving them a great look and also lots of strength. The whole thing sits on these fully licensed black Rhino beadlock wheels, wrapped in these 7.2-inch Falken Wild Peak tires. They've got a great, soft, squishy compound to them. Almost too soft, I gotta say. Under the weight of this 26-pound truck, there's a lot of flex in these tires. Under its own weight, you can see the tires just sagging. It gives the whole truck a really aggressive off-road look, like an aired-down truck ready to hit the trails. Super cool. Suspension action on this is excellent, provided by these aluminum-bodied, oil-filled shocks with a diameter of about the size of a AA battery. Lots of articulation and very smooth action on these shocks. Like the SCX10, you do get some adjustability in your shock mounting. You have a handful of positions front and back that you can tweak those just a little bit. The truck comes ready to run, comes with everything you need except for your own battery and charger. You do get this Spectrum DX3 transmitter, has all of your trim and adjustments on it. If you have the smart batteries, you'll be able to see your battery level right here. To shift it with the 2-speed transmission, you have this rocker switch on the fly, which toggles between high and low gear. Love that Axial even gives you batteries for the transmitter so you can hit the trail right off the bat. All of this comes together in one of the most realistic and capable packages available in the RC crawler market. And this thing is just amazing, purpose-built, ready to hit the trails. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to go out and we're going to run this thing and have some fun and see what it's really capable of. So let's go get after it. I've run this for a little bit. As you can see, it's a little dirty. Just took it out to a gravel pit last night with Axel, but now we're going to go hit crawler heaven here in Yarmouth. We're going to go see what it's really capable of. So let's rock and roll. Right, walking through the trail right now. The 2-speed transmission on this is mighty impressive. I'm just barely feathering the throttle and it's going faster than a walking pace. So there's so much versatility with the gearbox. If you click it down into low gear, which we'll see when we hit the rocks, can crawl extremely well. But when you open this thing up, it's fast. Very fast. All right, my friends, let's do it. I'm about 5 minutes in. I took a quick spin around just to kind of get a feel for the truck. And I gotta say, zero buyer's remorse. This thing is incredible on the rocks. Watching it move around and do its thing, hearing the sounds of the big tires on the rocks, like the lugs struggling for grip, watching the mechanics of this thing as it moves around, it's a completely new experience. I don't know. It's like the closest thing to real wheeling I've ever experienced, because I mean the size is just incredible. I'm also having to be very engaged with the driving and be very careful because this is so big. I mean, this is the 10th scale course, but this thing is just so massive. I have to be really cautious with my lines, and it's making for an extremely engaging driving experience. Just wild. Look at that brushless motor doing its thing. One thing I am noticing is that the servo seems to brown out the electronics, and I think I'd seen that on other reviews. When I get into tight situations where the servo is working pretty hard in rocky climbs like that, you could hear the fan kind of slow down and start to die out, and almost see the lights flicker a little bit. But man, look at this thing. So I think some more power to that servo could help this thing out, but man, it's doing a lot of work. I can say that, turning those big 7-inch tires. Coming across Bicycle Bridge here. It's going to get narrow. Just letting those tires fold over the obstacles. The tires are very soft. I think this could also benefit from a 3D printed insert or different foam setup. I love the tire squish, but I think with a big truck like this, having some more sidewall support would be really helpful. See, I'm folding over a little bit on this side hill. Still managed to stick it though. Gosh, if it had a driver, you'd swear it was real. Those molded sliders do a really good job doing exactly what they're supposed to do, sliding over the rocks. I've been able to get over some really gnarly, sharp-edged sections, surprisingly so, just kind of rocking my way over with those things. Oh, so good. Here's a case in point here. Let's see if I can. It's got a good approach angle. See that? Let's see if I can bump this. Oh, it's so crazy. Over here on a different section, this is a little more open. This thing's really going to favor more of an open terrain. The gated sections like I was in before, challenging just because of the sheer size. But over here we can kind of freestyle a little bit more. It's going to be a lot better. Battery life seems decent. I'm just running one pack on this now. It's 3S 5000 milliamp battery. It can run two. If you do the Y connector, you can run 2 packs on here. I don't have 2 batteries this size and the Y connector, so I'm gonna have to invest in that later, but so far it's doing pretty good runtime wise. Being able to switch it into second gear and make quick work of the trail and getting to and from obstacles makes a big difference. I think I saved a lot of power that way, and then you don't have to do hardly anything to it to get power out of it, and this motor is very efficient. The gearing on this is so good that I'm just barely touching the throttle and just kind of just crawling around super slow. It's doing amazing. All right, let's hit one more line here and then I'm gonna wrap it up and just have some fun. This thing is wild though. High centered big time. Oh, there we go. Oh, gnarly side hill here. So you get this thing to stick. It's one thing, when this thing rolls over, it takes damage pretty easy because that Lexan body doesn't hold up to the 26 pounds of this thing falling over. We're sticking it, we're doing okay. So crazy, like this section with these sharp rocks would hang up my 10 scales so bad, and this just cruises right over. All right guys, I'm gonna keep hanging out, having some more fun. This is an amazing truck, and as much as it hurt to spend the money, I don't regret it at all, because this thing is just such an incredible experience to drive. How it looks, how it performs, the really visceral mechanical feeling of driving it and watching it, just so cool. Keep finding these good lines. I don't want to short you guys out on these lines. Look at this thing go. All right, I'm gonna need 2 hands to navigate this. So I'm going to keep having fun. I'm going to keep driving for a little bit. I'm going to catch you guys back at the bench, give you my final thoughts. But I think you can tell I really like this truck. It is pretty awesome. The SCX6 is an incredible piece of hardware and really provides one of the most unique driving experiences I've ever had with RCs. The size, the capability, the noise, everything about it just provides another level of experience that is just hard to articulate in a video. The price tag on this thing at full retail is about $1,100, which is crazy. Talk about sticker shock, which is why I was never able to pull the trigger on this before. But having the price marked down, finally doing it, now it kind of makes sense, as crazy as that is. Maybe I'm just trying to rationalize it personally, but if you really think about it, what Axial has done here is given you such a versatile and capable truck right out of the box. I mean, I really don't know what you would have to do to this thing. The steering servo and the tire foams are noteworthy, but not necessary upgrades. You could put a BEC and utilize the stock servo. In this shape, it is so capable, and the lines that this thing is able to do is just incredible. So when you drive it and you see it in action and you experience it, the whole thing just makes a lot more sense than it does when you just look at the price tag, which is very scary. But it really is one of those things that sounds cliche, but it's really one of those things that you've got to see to believe, and you've got to drive it to really understand it. All I can say is that 5 minutes into driving this thing, zero buyer's remorse. I am head over heels in love with the SCX6. So glad I got it. And I cannot wait to take it out to some more spots. This is going to be incredible at something like Fort Phoenix, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of the SCX6? Have you driven one? What are your thoughts about this monster? And a big shout out to Reckless Hobbies in Wareham, Massachusetts. I went to order this online and the reddish orange was sold out, but Reckless had a couple of these in stock and I was able to get over there and get the sale price on it. So again, shout out to Reckless. Love those guys. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Stay tuned for more content from this monster, and I'll see you in the next video.